Shalom, everybody. Rabbi Edelstein here, Rabbi E for short, with a little pre-Shabbos thought. And really, I want some help, actually. We'll take some voting here. I've been without glasses for a couple of weeks, either lost or broken or lost. But now, thanks to my wonderful wife, ordered me 2 new pair of glasses. And I want to see, well, here's pair 1. Nice, huh? I like it. Kind of a pair 2. Kind of the more professorial look, the round, a little bit too round for me. I'm going to go with 1. I like 1, but whatever the case is, I'm delighted, right, that now I can finally see the world clearly, right? Maybe not. Maybe not so fast. That's what I want to talk about because, of course, my vision now is restored. I'm going to technically be able to see things clearly, but will I really see things clearly? People, situations. You know, it's not all just about the 2020 vision, technically. It's about how we approach situations, the inner desires of our heart, our preconceptions, our biases, our set opinions, that we know this so well, but that can subtly, sometimes not so subtly, distort how we interpret what we see. We might see the same thing, but with that bias in our heart, that fixed idea about a situation or a person, what I see will mean something completely different than really what it might actually be in practice, right? I know Sam doesn't like me. I know he doesn't. Why I know that, that's another story, but I know Sam doesn't like me. So I put on my glasses and I go out into the world and I see the frown on Sam's face as he walks by me. See? Was there a frown on Sam's face? Absolutely. But does that mean that Sam doesn't like me? No, not necessarily. My fixed idea has twisted how I look at the world. I'm not seeing the world clearly. We do this all the time. We have biases, we have desires, we have misconceptions about ourselves and the world, and the visual data coming in, technically right, but we're going to interpret it in a wrong way, sometimes a deadly way, a disastrous way. Yeah, we can see things wrong, even with beautiful glasses. It relates to this week's Torah portion, Shelach. Tragic Torah portion. The Jewish people are poised to enter the beautiful land of Israel that God has promised to them, and they want to send spies ahead to reconnaissance mission to figure out the best way to conquer the land, and in and of itself, that might be a good idea or not, depending on, they were already on a level of God leading them miraculously in the desert, but they wanted to do it. Moshe signs off on it, and even Hashem says, okay, send spies. If you want to do it, Moshe, do it. And Moshe chooses 12 distinguished leaders, and they go and they scout out the beautiful land of Israel, the good, the holy, the land flowing with milk and honey. And 10 of the 12 spies come back and they bring a bad report about the land. They see certain things and they say what they saw, and they end up telling the Jewish people, we're not going to be able to conquer the land. And 2 of the spies were righteous and they try to fight against it. But those 10 spies, and we'll get back to what they exactly said, their report on what they saw and how they understood what they saw caused a whole generation to die in the desert. The men, not the women, cried and wept when they heard how difficult it would be to go into the land of Israel. There were giants living there and other details. They said, we're not going to be able to do it. We can't. We want to go back to Egypt. It was a national catastrophe. The women did not cry or lose faith. And the night they wept was actually the night of Tisha B'Av, the 9th of Av. Both temples would be later destroyed on that night. And why did the Jewish people not wander? Why were they led in the desert for 40 years? It wasn't supposed to be 40 years in plan A. They were going right in because of the effect of this transgression of the spies, because of the distortion in what the 10 spies saw or how they interpreted what they saw, that led to the whole generation and then not going into the land. That generation, the men of that generation lost the opportunity to go into the land. 40 years later, their children would enter the land, and a lot of women, and there are other details there, but what happened? What happened? So there are many understandings of what was within the hearts and minds of those 10 spies. Did they go on the mission initially with a preconception? And it would seem yes. For whatever reason, maybe a noble, good reason, they didn't think the Jewish people should go into the land right now, or we weren't worthy to go in the land, or whatever. And then that shaped what they saw. What did they see? Gigantic people living there, strong people. But okay, so that's the data of the eyes, but Hashem is stronger than them, right? And Hashem has showed his strength to the Egyptians and to other mighty kings and whatever. So like they saw the eye, but they said, oh, that too strong. We're not going to be able to go in. And blessings that God showered the land of Israel with, like incredible fertility, big fruit. Moshe gave them an assignment to bring back fruits of the land, and they brought back gigantic clusters of grapes. What an amazing thing. like cases of delicious, I don't know if they were Merlot, Pinot Noir. I don't know if Pinot Noir was there yet, but whatever it was, one grape, one huge mammoth grape, massive grape, could make who knows how many cases of wine. That would please Rabbi E very much. But no, the spies showed the giant cluster of grapes as evidence that it's not a normal land. It's a land that is only for gigantic people, not for little folks like us. We're not going to, it's not meant for us. The air there, and they saw other things, and they distorted their inner desire, or desire not to go into the land, distorted how they interpreted what they saw. Tragic. Our eyes, 2020, whatever it is, our eyes can have 20/20 vision, but see things wrong. And we can also see wrong things, right? Because we're in this world, and God gave us eyes, and God gave us desires, heart, eyes, and he gave us a Torah, especially the Jewish people. He gave mankind seichel, intellect, and a conscience, and a soul, and mankind has a mission to elevate this world and not get pulled down by all the delightful sights and temptations out there. Every one of us really is a scout in this world, a neshama, a soul sent from a higher realm to be in this world, to elevate ourselves in the world and not let our heart or our eyes get us off track. If inside we're not so sure about the mission, or we can see the wrong things. And those things we see, attractive things in the world, desirable things, with that heart that already is kind of not set on a mission of elevation and maybe just wants to have some fun or whatever, then the eyes can see, and that can increase the desire of the heart, which was already there before, and a person can stray far off the path of righteousness, of morality. At the end of this week's Torah portion, not coincidentally, God gives the Jewish people the mitzvah of tzitzit, on the corners of the garment, fringes. Actually, men are obligated, not women, in tzitzit. That's not nice. Whoa. Not obligated. The men of the desert let the sight of their eyes, if you will, or the physical data sway them away from the promise God had made that he was going to bring them into the land. The men had a problem, it seems, with getting distracted, getting overwhelmed, getting psyched out, getting destroyed by the sight of their eyes or the desires of the heart. God gave the Jewish people the mitzvah tzitzis, lo sasura racharei levavchem v'acharei einechem. The Torah says, so we look at the tzitzis, the fringes, and we won't go out spying. The same word as at the beginning of the Torah portion with the scouts sent to spy. Same word. The tzitzis, we look at it, we won't go spying out after what? The desires of our heart or the beautiful view of our eyes. Rather, we'll remember that Hashem took us out of Egypt. We're supposed to remember the commandments that he gave us when he took us out of Egypt, and fortified with that in our heart. Not easy to do. Take it from me. I've been in this business a long time, and even me as a rabbi, not easy to do. To make that firmly in our heart, that mission of sanctification and elevation, the higher purpose of life, and commitment to the Torah and the mitzvot, which the tzitzis remind us of. But if we implant that in our heart, then we won't want to see the wrong things in life. They might pass our field of vision, but we're not going to run after them. They're not going to increase the desire to do something wrong. But if we're not strong in that foundation, then other desires in our heart will lead us astray, could lead us to look for the wrong things, to look for things that are wrong. I hope that makes somewhat of some sense. And, for the last couple minutes, I'll put on these glasses. But I hope that you listened. I hope you liked. And, let's be in touch. And let's try to purify ourselves, myself included, in our motives, our self-understanding, our self-awareness, our self-knowledge, so we can see the world accurately. Other people, relationships, God, our relationship to God, see it clearly. To do that, we don't just need glasses. We don't even need glasses. We need a pure heart, a commitment to do the right thing, and to live a life of growth and elevation guided by the Torah. And with that, we can confidently stride through life and elevate ourselves and not get destroyed by the desires of our heart or the sight of our eyes. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful Shabbos.